Leeds United, they suffered a 1-0 defeat away to Everton. Seamus Coleman with the only goal. We talked recently on this podcast about the Tony Meola, Dan Petrescu play at the 94 World Cup. It was kind of similar here. Seamus Coleman from a tight angle, but Messley, I don't know what he was doing on that play, so he went in, and that was that. Let me ask you this. U.S. fans on Twitter getting a lot of enjoyment from these tough guy moments by Weston, McKennie, and Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
But there's starting to be a backlash to that. Like, how about winning some games? You know, what you're not seeing is highlights of them controlling the tempo, spraying passes, progressing the ball. It's a lot of just pushing and shoving and giving other players looks, and every U.S. fans thinking that's so cool. But, I mean, at some point, you need some results here.
Yes, you're absolutely right. However, I will, to defend not just them, but other players, because if you are coming into the league and it's your first time playing in the EPL, I think that there is the tendency, given what the image is of the league, to come in with the notion, and I think fairly so, that it is a much more physical and fast-paced league, and that your physical output is going to dictate your success. And it's reinforced by the oohs and ahs and cheers if and when somebody goes in for a hard tackle. And that's kind of ingrained in the culture and has been for decades and decades and decades. And so I think that the EPL in general lends itself to a more physical type of game. It allows it more from a refereeing perspective. It encourages it, and it celebrates it more. And so I think someone like Weston McKennie or Tyler Adams coming in says, you know, the quickest way to people's hearts is through this physical nature. That may be true, but it's fleeting and it's short term. Ultimately, while it might not be the quickest way, the best way is by winning, by hook or by crook, figuring out a way to do it. And so I absolutely agree with what you're saying, that is starting to be part of the conversation. You know, stop trying to be a hard ass and just pass the ball and just make the tackles that you can do. And you can still be physical and get those oohs and ahs without getting in the face of somebody every single time you feel you're been aggrieved, which is sometimes what we're seeing with Tyler Adams. I love that he stands up for himself. I love that he stands up for his teammates. But at times you look around and you're saying, well, what are you standing up for right now? It was just a hard tackle or something like that, and you're creating an incident and creating an altercation where there didn't need to be.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.